Hi guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match reaction to last night's 1-0 win against Shelbourne at Dalymount Park. A big win, another 3 points, 3 on the trot now. And yeah, a good way to do it in a Dublin derby. In a game where, look, we probably didn't play our best, but look, it was a game that we had to manage a bit differently, I suppose, in part, especially after they were reduced to 9 men. Look, we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters really. On the game really, I thought we started quite well. It was even enough, quite scrappy in the first half, but we probably had the better of the chances. And then look, obviously we take the lead. Then the game changes really from that point. Really does really well to get the ball off Kyle. Kyle takes him down, and look, last man, it's a red card, a penalty. And up stepped out Brownie to get his first goal of the season to put us 1-0 up. And they're thinking then, they're down to 10 men. If we can just push on now and get a couple more goals and put this game to bed. But it didn't quite turn out that way, of course. Look, we were still relatively comfortable then in throughout the second half, I suppose. We were in control of the midfield. Dawson, the boy, was central to everything that we were doing. He was getting on the ball and looking to make things happen. Brennan was doing what he does best. Getting our fullbacks and trying to make things happen. And players like Clark and Rossi and Rooney, they were chasing down balls, working hard. There was a real effort there in the second half. But then look, the game becomes a little bit more different then to manage, I suppose, when Shells get the second yellow card, or the second red card even. Ali Q goes down. Rob Harvey deems it as a dive, and look, there is a bit of contact there from Tierney, I suppose. I don't think it's enough for a penalty. But I don't know if it's a dive either, really. I think, Ali Coote, he fails a bit of contact and, chances it, but look, I don't know if it's a blatant dive. But look, Rob Harvey gave him the second yellow anyway, and Shells were down to 9 men. And look, they actually started to grow into it a little bit from that point. They were causing us a few little issues towards the end. Obviously, Adebego misses a good chance at a time. We get away with one there, but look, we were still pretty comfortable, I thought, and I thought we deserved the win. It becomes a hard game to manage then, I suppose, when they get down to 9 men. You don't want to give them too much of an advantage in terms of going for the game, because there's still that chance that you could get caught on the counter if you go all out attack. So it does become a bit of a difficult game to manage. But look, I thought we did it reasonably well. Casper didn't really have to make many saves. So there was a couple in the second half, I suppose. But that's it, really. They didn't have to do a whole lot. And yeah, look, in terms of individuals, I thought that overall, really, the performance was very solid, hard work. And, we had to grind it out at the end. Like we said, there was loads of players that were putting in the effort. It's hard to kind of pinpoint one, because not everyone put in the effort. Obviously Dale Rooney, I'm delighted for him to get his goal, first goal of the season. He's waited for that moment for a while now. He's put in some good performances in recent weeks, and I'm delighted that he's able to get off the mark there. A lot of effort on show there to get that win, and yeah, look, it leaves us in an even better position now. We're third in the table, we're only 2 points off the top, and it's great to see this turnaround. I suppose it wasn't as the game wasn't as dramatic as it has been in recent weeks in terms of late winners. We did it much more early this time, but look, we'll take any win that comes, of course, and that really fires us right into that race for Europe. We're being third in the league, and to win another game at home as well, it's massive, especially a derby, in a game that they are scrappy and they can go either way, especially when you're up against Shells. It can be a tricky game, and look, it was probably towards the end. We were hanging on a little bit when we shouldn't have. The game management in the second half probably could have been a bit better. The subs maybe didn't quite make the same impact as they have been doing in recent weeks. Parsons came on and looked a bit shaky. Obviously gave away that corner where we nearly conceded at the end, and yeah, it was one of them really where the communication at the back probably wasn't the best either in recent weeks. We had Gretton and Cornwall and Flores looked a bit shaky, and they were giving the ball away a few times. But look, apart from that, there was good effort on show. We got a win in a Dublin derby. We're up to third, so look, there's not much we can really complain about, and look, we'll hopefully take that into the next few games. Now we've drafted it away next week, which will be a tough game, but look, let's just hope that we can carry this good form on, and we can, further cement ourselves into the top four. So that's where I'll end it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you thought about the game, and I'll see you for the preview for the Trot game during the week. Bye bye.